Grand Rising all. Finally made it to Florida with my family and my grandma. This is Miss Victoria. Make sure the what do you call it? The focus is right. Give me a second. Let me get this set up, y'all. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Put this focus on. So yeah, Grandma, glad to see you again. And let me move this over here. This. All right. So yeah, I was just saying I want to talk. Move this right up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I called you from the road to see if you wanted some gifts or treats and anything. And the warden said you couldn't have anything. So, Agnes. so that's why I didn't bring you nothing. She said you got enough. You said, hope that's focusing there, right? All right. This is my grandma, Miss Victoria, and make sure this is centered right. Okay. Yeah. She gonna share with us some stories back in her day, and I wanted to talk about too when you told me about the incident or the situation with Texaco and how they cut that 5 cent, is it a nickel check or 3 cents check they cut every quarter for the mineral rights of the mineral rights to the property out in Kankakee or something like that. You have no idea. Okay, Agnes know about it because she got the. Where's she at anyway? She went to the store. Okay. So tell me about the post office. What you enjoyed about working at the post office?
Oh, I loved it. I loved every minute, every hour that I worked there. When I got ready to leave, I was tired.
You was tired?
Yeah, I think I stayed there 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I had a house full of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had all them kids before I started working at the post office.
Before?
Yeah. I had a house full of kids. I don't think I got pregnant while I was working, did I?
What year did you start working at the post office?
I don't forget.
You don't even know?
No, I don't remember.
Nah.
But I was married. Me and her was together. And I had all these kids.
Unless you just ain't washed it yet.
So I don't remember being pregnant.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, baby.
What you got in the bag there?
I'm having some lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was the first job I had ever had to make money with a check. I never worked a day in my life. Anywhere but that. I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
The big part, the main part was getting the check. Every 2 weeks.
Now, how did you even apply for that position? Because that was...
Yeah, I applied for it and passed.
Okay.
Yeah. It was written exam.
Was it a lot of black folks that worked there?
Quite a few, yeah. Downtown, you know.
Right.
Main post office, that's the one I worked out.
It's still there, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Is it by Wacker?
Yeah.
Over by Wacker? Yeah.
It's still there. Yeah.
I remember, Auntie, I'm doing a little recording with Grandma and everything. And I want to ask you, too, about that Texaco situation. No, just pertaining to what it was actually that they did. You know?
Yeah, but we really don't know. I mean, we know they didn't get no money from it, and that's all of them.
And the check
But
is like...
they signed agreements that they wasn't going to. They all agreed, and that's...
So that check is what, like 3 or 5 cents every quarter or something like that?
Yeah, I don't even think he gets it. I don't think they get it anymore.
Oh, okay.
That's years ago.
But that's all they would get?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they wouldn't get no money out of that because
Really?
the brothers and stuff had agreed, and the sisters. and
Why?
they- Huh?
Why would they agree to get nothing?
Because they were black people that didn't have any guidance,
Right, no attorneys or nothing like that.
and that's what happened. And it wasn't that they were after the oil; it was the mineral rights on the property.
But whatever they were after, they so cheap they wouldn't pay up.
No, they didn't pay him because the rights were signed over. And then what they did was sign the rights over to the lawyer.
Mm.
That's what they did. And had them sign saying that they had no rights to it and they couldn't come after his family and everything else. Yeah,
Oh my God.
big fiasco.
You know what I do remember though as a kid? And
What's that?
I'm looking back on it, I had to be 4 years old. Because my mama went to the military and I went to live with her in 77, I think. Because she had bought that Buick in 76. That was in Chicago, and when we went to California, I think I was 7 years old. So before that, in like 74, 75, you took all of us to Florida on a trip to Disneyland or Disney World.
Yeah.
And I remember the Chrysler, the blue Chrysler station wagon with the blue interior. And we stayed in a hotel, and it was geckos on the walls. And that was my first time seeing geckos. But I had to be 4 or 5 years old because I hadn't moved to California yet.
Yeah.
And you did all that with your post office money.
Yeah. Well, I
It
was,
took all of us.
it was amazing to make that kind of money after being broke all my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, waiting on Herbert to come in, and he wasn't bringing me no money.
Right.
And he didn't really take care of the home.
Right.
He was really a nun.
He didn't know much either.
No, he was young and
So,
stupid.
you know. Yeah.
He was, but he didn't try to learn.
Right.
He knew, you know, when you're bad, I don't care how. If you never go to a school in your life, you know right from wrong.
He was comfortable in his curses.
Yeah,
He was comfortable.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm sure he wanted better. He just
No,
wasn't about.
no, if he
put the
did, he
work
would have done better.
Right.
No, just because you know better don't mean you're gonna do better. All you
No,
gotta do is
he
look around
made
here.
money. He made money that he could have done better, much better.
The
And he would
beauty,
throw it away.
the beauty that y'all had 13 kids all in one home.
Yeah.
Like that's unheard of today.
Yeah, yeah.
And you kept them all.
Yes,
And
indeed.
even your kids, a lot of us was raised under your roof.
The same roof, yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah. Yes, indeed.
And you don't see that no
Well,
more.
we all wasn't raised under the same roof like that now. I mean, when we moved to Chicago, of course, she had to lie about how many kids she had. And Rochelle and Teresa and I think Copy were gone. They were living on their own.
Oh, okay. So my mama, Copy and Marty.
No,
No,
Teresa,
Copy was
Rochelle.
at home.
No, Copy wasn't over there at Loomis.
Where was he?
I don't know where Copy
Copy
was.
was
Copy
at
was in
home.
the streets.
Yeah, well, he would go off on, you know, and wasn't doing the
No.
right thing.
Mm-mm.
But he was still at home. He wasn't.
Rochelle was married, I believe. Teresa was
Michelle is my
married.
mama.
Yeah.
And Copy was wherever Copy was.
Copy was here, there,
And Marty, when did
everywhere.
Marty go
Because
to?
Copy did not move until 1847.
When did Marty go to the military? Did he?
No,
He did go to the military, right?
Oh,
Yeah, he
Marty.
went in.
Marty. Yeah.
He went in.
I lost touch with Marty.
Yeah.
He left. I didn't hear from him.
He was in Vietnam, right?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
He crossed. No, he got in the military for a short period of time, and then he either went, he didn't go AWOL because he took Deborah with him, who was his wife. He came back and got her, and they tried to cross into Panama Canal.
Panama Canal.
Yeah.
What the hell was that about?
It just, Marty was on a, he was militant.
Yeah.
So everything was, I'm gonna do it my way. And Deborah,
His wife.
yeah, she was like, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth.
Mm.
So the State Department caught them trying to get into the Panama Canal. And they called Mama. And he said he wasn't going back home. Well, he was grown.
Oh.
So they stayed out here in Florida, down there. And he delivered 3 babies that she had, delivered them in the church in a utility closet. They were homeless.
Oh.
And she followed him wherever he went. Elaine believes she still lives down the street from 8047. You know, she used to live on, not Loomis, but what's the street that ran? No. You got
Damon.
You got Loomis where White Castle is. What's the street right here?
79?
79th. Yeah. She lived down on 79th and Troop. Yeah, on the right hand side. Yeah, and people may still be over there.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, but they had Marty had his own thing. You know, Marty was Marty. Marty didn't care what nobody said, nobody did. After Marty and Shane and Sherman, who lived on Loomis, they had got jumped over there, you know, on the railroad tracks where your mom and them used to live. They got jumped on.
Over on the west side?
Mm-hmm. And they thought Marty and them was gangbangers. And they slammed Sherman's head in the car door and stuff. They shot Marty with buckshots. We were cutting him out of his fan. Mm-hmm. It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. But yeah. It's something when you think back on times. But he, some trash looking stuff they got now. But he, Marty was militant. He said he wasn't gonna let the white man do nothing for him. And then he said, you know what? Screw that. I'm gonna make the white man take care of my kids. So he gave his kids to the state of Florida. And when he gave him to Florida, I don't know how she allowed him to do that. But one of the kids, the oldest boy, was named Atlas. Who holding the world up? Atlas. You know that image that you see where you holding the world? That's what he named his first son. And then he gave him to the state. Gave all the kids to the state. So Mama found out about it because they called her. And she said, well, I'll take the kids, you know. And he said, no, nobody in my family is to have my kids. So we couldn't get them. Yeah. Yeah, he had his own demons. But I have I never got the death certificate, but they said he died. I tracked him, tried to as much as I could, but still never got a death certificate. And I wrote back to the military, because the military was the one that told me he had passed away. I said, well, where's the death certificate? And they said he died in Florida. And so that's what started me on my journey to locate him.
Yeah.
And I got some paper somewhere in there that talks about it and stuff, you know. Same thing that I tracked that, you know, Daddy was getting them checks for $2 and 39 cents, 5 cents. And then, you know, it's, the thing about it is, we weren't supposed to have it, sure. It could have been our legacy, but for some reason, it wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
So that's why nothing ever came of it. And the thing is, I do have the paperwork where it shows that they signed over everything. That was from his parents.
Mm-hmm.
That they gave to their kids. And it's on Louisiana.
Oh, it's Louisiana? I thought it was Kankakee.
No, Louisiana. Something parish. And what they did is the kids inherited these plots of land.
Yeah.
And in place of them, because everybody else was in Chicago, we're in Illinois.
Yeah.
And so they didn't even ask. They started putting up their oil things out there.
Yeah.
But, Daddy's family wasn't the only one they did that to. I'm sure they did it to a whole lot of blacks. And what you gotta have, because I even took it I used to work for this lawyer, and she is a corporate lawyer.
Yeah.
And I took it in her and let her see it. And she said, you have a case, but what you need to do is give me everything you can on it, which you couldn't get much of anything. I even called, I think it was Shell. It was either Shell or Texaco. And I got some checks somewhere in there. And I talked to the woman, and she said, well, what it is they signed over everything, giving up all rights to it. It wasn't oil that they were pumping, it was minerals, which is more money. Yeah. So they signed all that over. What they did, they didn't sign it over to the gas company or whoever was digging, they signed it over to the lawyer. He convinced them. He actually pitted them against each other. And I think there's one brother that didn't sign.
So that's an illegal practice right there.
Absolutely. But you gotta have somebody that's willing to take the case and do the full fight for it. And I mean, it may be somewhere where, somebody says, hey, this is illegal, you can't do this. And then they bring it all back to you, but,
You done with that, Grandma?
Your camera's not on, is it, Keith?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I mean, it's still recording. I was gonna say, give her that table so she can put her plate on. Yeah, you can just put it right there on the.